Hello and welcome to our Tribute to Freedom, Legends of Philadelphia. We are your hosts. I'm Johnny Tremaine Zito. This is my schoolyard chum, Tony, my country tiz of Trove.
Yeah.
Joining us, as always, is Brian Bellringer Bierman.
Ding dong.
You might be wondering, why is your crack showing? Well, in addition to being Philadelphia natives, Trove and I have a lifestyle brand, South Fellini, that focuses on Philly culture and in-jokes. Lots of times customers will ask us, why is there no Liberty Gong? That's true.
That's a good question.
People would know how to get off stage then. Or they want to know what the best bathroom near Independence Hall is. I got opinions.
There's two good ones.
So we decided to start this podcast as an easy explainer for new Philadelphians and a refresher for the old heads. The city fascinates and excites us, so we're hoping to share that with you.
The Independence Visitor Center. It's on 5th and Market. Or you can go to the Bourse if they're open.
Can you use the bathroom in Independence Hall? Like, I want to go where...
This is where John Adams took a crap.
Yeah.
You want to use the same chamber pot as...
privy. I want to use their privy.
You have like a single tear rolling down your cheek.
It's
while you're using it.
America.
Yo, I have a couple of weird questions, right? The Pledge of Allegiance, we all know that.
Yeah, I'm familiar.
So it's just like, it's like talking about, patriotic stuff, and then in the middle of it, it starts talking about those like crazy internet fans in the middle of it. The 4 Witchet stands. What is that? Who's Witchet? What is that? Why are they standing? It's like a K-pop singer. And then the Star Spangled Banner, right? Star Spangled Banner.
You're coming in hot today.
These are my 2 things that I have for the thing. So it's like, bombs bursting in air, all that bullshit. And then sorry.
Please don't curse.
Then it starts talking about preparing meats. The ram parts we washed in the middle. It's like, what? We're eating ram now? That's all I have. I'll just sit quietly for the rest of the episode.
You handed in your homework early, you're done.
Yeah.
We asked you to write 3 good jokes, and there they are.
Yeah, I came up with 2.
Something will come to you over the hour. You'll figure something out.
Man, I was gonna make a comment about my T-shirt, but forget it.
It seems to pale in
Never
comparison.
It's very we have that.
This is a vintage South Fellini shirt,
and we have that on a sticker you can buy.
I think there's a patch too, but yeah, we don't sell it on a
I'm
t-shirt
bringing this
anymore.
shirt back.
Yeah, that's right.
Is that true?
Only for Patreon.
Oh,
well, I don't know, maybe.
Yeah.
know.
This will be one of the exclusive things on the secret menu.
Oh man,
Secret menu.
The
secret menu.
The rare T-shirt.
Okay, our
Rare
first
shirt.
secret menu T-shirt is going to be the Liberty Bell and Lightning Bolt T-shirt. Patreon exclusive.
I don't know.
We got a bunch of stuff on the Patreon. We can't tell you
New
'cause
content.
We didn't.
Old
We
content.
didn't do it yet, but
Good content.
yeah, it's a cool stuff. You should come check us out. Check it out.
Support Bierman. Support
yeah.
Bierman's lifestyle.
My comics lifestyle.
Bierman, you're like a 10 comic a week habit.
No,
right
I'm
now.
not. No, I'm not.
All right.
You can quit anytime you want.
This is really what this episode is a intervention.
It's an intervention.
Yeah, give me all your comic books.
Brian from Old Brave New World is like, actually, Brian, it's too much.
you have to stop him. Shout out to Brave New Worlds. They enable my comic addiction. I got a package to my house and I wasn't home and I texted my roommate and I was like, hey, can you get this package? And like, it's not even comic books. It's even nerdier than comic books. It was the bag and boards for comic books. And I was like, oh, hopefully he doesn't know what this is. And then like the box is like comics. And so I was like, you're letting everybody know. This is like, I want discreet packaging.
Today's episode is actually a heavy topic.
You've been wanting to talk about this for a long time.
I have. In 2001, one of the most horrific terror acts in our nation's history took place. We all suffered a loss of innocence that day. The world would never be the same.
I don't like where this is going.
America, watched as a symbol of our freedom, was forever scarred. I'm, of course, referring to the Liberty Bell hammer attack of April 6th, 2001, a day that will live in infamy.
Is there going to be an episode where you don't mention 9/11?
I'm surprised.
Why don't you just call it? Hey, it's the 9/11 podcast with South Fellini.
9/11 trauma
Why
dump. That's what
9/11 trauma?
So we're on YouTube now. We're not allowed to curse in the first 10 minutes or whatever. But you can make a 9/11 joke in the first 10 minutes.
Who's joking? Who's joking?
That's true. It wasn't about 9/11.
I didn't bring up 9/11.
No, you're right.
You're right. I brought
That's
it up.
true.
I brought it up.
You have
You're right.
to
It's, you
admit.
have to
True.
admit I brought it up.
Wow. What a
I can't help it if your head went
I
there.
was like read it. Beer was like, yo, I read the script. It's like, why is it about 9/11? I was like, why is it
stopped
always
reading right
9/11?
I don't
Why is
see it.
Always 9/11.
I don't hear it. I'm not sure what you guys are getting at.
And no one even remembers this. Like, I don't know why we
9/11.
remember.
Never forget. Dude, are you serious? Are you serious? You said you'd never forget.
Shut up.
Where were you when the Liberty Bell got gonged?
This is my parents' living room. I remember watching it on TV. They're like, someone rang the Liberty Bell with a hammer.
It was a.
It wasn't a big.
It was an
deal.
action.
It
news.
wasn't a big.
It was
deal.
an.
It was a blip in the news. It was.
And we're here to talk about that blip for 45 minutes.
40-ish minutes. Yeah. Bierman, do you remember this, or did it just go right by you?
No, I only know it because it was on the list of topics. But no, I don't. I kind of like remember it, but like yeah. I mean, maybe it was a big deal here for like 2 days, but then like it was pre 9/11, so something else like not important took over the news.
It's funny. It's not funny, but you kind of had a little bit more freedom to do things like this before 9/11.
Yeah.
Walk up to a
national
national
landmark.
monument, touch it.
Have you ever touched the Liberty Bell? I have.
Oh, really?
Yeah. When I was a kid,
You should be allowed to touch it.
summer camp took us there. We laid on our backs and got to look underneath of it, and then we got to
There's
touch
spiders in here.
it. A little history on the bell. The bell has been beat up and knocked around quite a bit since its original creation. The Philadelphia City Bell had been used to alert the public to proclamations or civic danger since the city's 1682 founding.
If like we talked about on the 2023 episode, if the water was bad, they instead of everybody getting a text message, they would ring the bell.
They'd ring the bell.
And they'd be like, "Why are they ringing the bell?" I'm like, we don't know.
Well, you got
I don't know.
I don't know.
The original bell hung from a tree behind the Pennsylvania State House, now known as Independence Hall, placed there by the city founder William Penn.
European founder.
European founder William Penn. It's true. There were people here before
For
him.
him.
Yeah.
In 1751, civic authorities sought a bell of better quality that could be heard at a greater distance in the rapidly expanding city. So they ordered a bell from the Whitechapel Bell Foundry in London for £150.
English bell. Couldn't even get an
A
American
bigger,
bell.
better bell.
We used to make stuff in America. That's why it broke. I'll say it.
So the bell arrived in Philadelphia in August 1752. The bell was mounted on a stand to test the sound, and at the first strike of the clapper, the bell's rim cracked.
The first time.
The very first time.
They're like, they didn't test it before. They were just like, all right.
Well, the people in England were like, just get it
Yeah,
out,
yeah,
just push it. They'll never be able to
Yeah.
return this.
Philadelphia authorities tried to return it by ship, but the master of the vessel that had brought it was unable to take it aboard for the return voyage.
Because they didn't have the receipt. They didn't keep the
They didn't
receipt.
have the receipt.
That's how they get you, dude.
So when you return something to IKEA and they're
Eh.
like, we don't, how you know we got it from us? It's like, it's clearly an orange couch.
Yeah,
Like,
what do
where
you-
else would
what
I
do you
get
want me to
this?
do? The England was like, we can give you store credit. You can buy another bell.
Buy a store credit. But the next bell's more expensive.
Though they were inexperienced in bell casting, John Pass and John Stowe offered to recast the bell at their foundry on 2nd Street. The bell was broken into small pieces, melted down, and cast into a new bell.
So a couple two-streeter contractors.
Yeah, they're like, oh, yeah, well, we can get that. We'll figure it
We
out.
got that.
Well, it also says they were inexperienced in bell casting, so they did some kind of metal work, but they were not bell makers, and they just figured they'd win.
It can't be that hard.
How hard could it be?
Later, I read that later they did like a metallurgical analysis of the bell in recent years, and it has like 10% more tin than you should have in a bell from that era.
Because they took some of the original metal and they scrapped it.
Yeah. Like, nobody will know.
That's good copper. You take
Good
that
copper.
to the junkyard.
No one's going to
Yeah.
do a metallurgical thing on this. That's not even a word now.
How long is this bell going to last?
So they remade the bell using the metal.
Yes.
So it's like the ship of Theseus when they it's made of the same materials, but is it the same thing?
Yeah.
Is it the original bell if it's made of the same metal, but it's remade?
I think that's a really good question.
It's a haiku.
Yeah.
It's deep, man.
Let's just sit here for like 10 minutes and
Ponder
think about it.
City officials scheduled a celebration with free food and drink for the public unveiling of the recast bell.
What do you think they ate?
Probably
Oh.
boiled vegetables and lettuce and
Long hots,
Beans and rabbit, kidney pies.
oxtail, kidney pies.
carameled oxtail.
Mm.
Dr. Pepper is also.
Dr. Pepper.
Gross. When the bell was struck, it did not break. But the sound it produced was described as, quote, two coal scuttles being banged together, end quote.
And that's an insult in old timey.
That's an old
timey insult.
It's a bad review for your bell.
They're just like, sorry, it's not like commercial enough, man. You just don't get it. In 20 years, people are all going to be trying to get this sound.
Analog.
Yeah. You can't get it.
Sweet hum.
Mocked by the crowd, Pass and
By the
Stowe
crowd.
hastily took the bell away to again recast it.
Again.
This is their second attempt. Third time with this metal. Second attempt for these
We'll
two
get
guys.
it. We'll get it.
You'd think they would have tried it before doing the performance.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Like, if you're a musician, you know, you practice the songs and then you perform. I don't know. I'm no bell maker.
Yeah. Well, they weren't either. So Pass and Stowe, what happened to them? Were they like widely mocked for this?
They probably got paid every time. Too.
Yeah. It's a city job.
It's a city job.
In June 1753, the recasting was complete and the sound was deemed satisfactory.
Good enough.
The bell was hung in the steeple of the State House Independence Hall that same month.
So it's like hung up on a thing.
Yeah, so
Well, they're allowed to get it up there.
Yeah, how'd they do that?
well, the
Ropes?
yeah,
Police?
a lot of ropes, and
Horse.
pulleys.
A horse. 3 horses died to put that
3
thing up.
horses.
That's just for the glue.
They had to stand
That's not
3
even-
horses on top of each other.
Yeah,
They didn't
that's
have
how they
ladders
fixed the
yet.
crack. Horse glue.
This didn't work either.
Yeah, I guess they had just built the steeple at Independence Hall, so they put the bell in there along with the construction of the steeple. So it was all a part of the same installation. The bell took on symbolic significance after an 1847 article in the Saturday Courier by George Lippard. In the apocryphal tale, an aged bellman sits morosely by the
Bellman.
bell, fearing that Congress would not have the courage to declare independence on July 4th, 1776. But then they do, and he rings the bell. The story was widely reprinted and closely linked the Liberty Bell to the Declaration of Independence in the public mind.
Probably waiting all day for this. This is like my big day. I'm a bellman.
So they didn't really ring it that day? And it just comes from the story that they rang it?
This is the story that made it popular, and nobody really knows if it happened. Like if the bell was rung that day when they signed the Declaration of Independence.
It's not about July 4th. It's about July 4th weekend.
Yeah, I
Yeah.
agree.
Right?
Yeah,
It's
yeah.
like,
Everybody was down the shore, so it
everybody's
wasn't
down
that big of a
there.
deal.
Sure.
Some of us were here for the concert on the Parkway.
Right.
We don't know if the bell was rung on the 4th of July, actually, but we do know it was rung at the public reading of the Declaration of Independence on July 6th.
Well, that's close enough.
It's the headliner.
Yeah, come on. Yeah, exactly. It closes out the festival. That was Philadelphia Bells.
That was the Revolutionary War.
It was a sick fest, bro.
Most people are taught that the Liberty Bell cracked upon the 1835 death of the Supreme Court Justice John Marshall. The National Park Service suggests that it most likely cracked sometime between 1841 and 1845 during its ringing on either Independence Day or Washington's birthday. No special note or report was made on the subject.
So whoever broke it Didn't tell anyone.
No, they kept it to themselves.
Yeah, there's no diary. Like 1842, broke the bell today. I know I'm going to hear about this.
I'm going to be in so much trouble. I mean, it's hard to get fired from a city job, but you know.
He could sue us.
Not gonna lie, it was like that when I got here.
Got here, sure.
The bell was first termed the Liberty Bell in an anti-slavery journal published in the 1850s. By 1865, the Anti-Slavery Association was so strong that Lincoln's body was displayed alongside the Liberty Bell at Independence Hall for a public viewing after his assassination.
So it was a twofer.
Yeah, it was. It was a
It was
double
like,
header.
I want to see dead Lincoln.
Yeah.
I don't want to see the Liberty Bell. It's like going to Pat's and Gino's.
The true tourist experience.
Yeah. We did an episode about the
Pat's and
Lincoln.
Gino's.
We kind of
Taste the scene.
Yeah. We did a Lincoln dead body train tour episode, and it's disgusting.
It's about embalming Lincoln's body here in Philadelphia.
And it melted in the hot sun. It's disgusting.
That was another Philly job they had to do twice.
Yeah. Nobody will notice.
He comes back to life, and then they.
Between 1885 and 1915, the Liberty Bell was transported to 7 expositions and celebrations.
It was on tour.
At the World's Fair in Chicago, the bell was serenaded by the first performance of the Liberty Bell March, conducted by John Philip Sousa.
What a banger.
Yeah.
Friend of the show, John
Friend
Philip
of the
Sousa.
show.
Yeah, he was in. We did an episode about the Spanish flu outbreak, and there was a super spreader event at the Philip Sousa concert in Philadelphia because everybody wanted to go. It's like if Taylor Swift played, like basically. He was the Taylor Swift of his time.
Taylor Swift of his day.
Yeah. And also Liberty Bell March is Monty Python's theme song. So the British stole the bell again.
They got it back.
They stole it back.
Put it in the British Museum.
The bell was taking a real beating from all of this travel. People would place stickers and postage stamps on the cracks.
South Fellini stickers.
South Fellini stickers. It was revealed that the bell's private watchman had been cutting off small pieces of metal as souvenirs.
Wow. How small?
How
He
small?
was like taking a coin and he was like shaving the edges.
Oh.
I guess I would want that. I was like, who's gonna want that? Yeah, I want that for
Yeah.
my
I want a
ephemera
piece.
collection.
All right.
Yeah, I
Little
want a
piece of the Liberty Bell.
Just a little piece. It's still a bell.
It's gonna wet my beak.
Yeah.
It's a little taste.
There's plenty of bell for everybody.
Mhm.
In 1914, Philadelphia installed a metal support structure inside the bell called the Spider so that the bell could be transported to San Francisco.
The spider.
Yeah, I guess it holds the bell integrity in place so that the crack doesn't make it deform and wobble.
Oh, yeah.
When it got there, the ringing of the bell would be the first transmission to inaugurate the transcontinental telephone service.
So you could hear it on the phone.
Yep, it was the
rang
first transcontinental signal sent across the wire.
That's pretty awesome.
Even though it was cracked.
Even though it sounded like shit.
What's that? Is there a donkey dying in the background? No, it's the Liberty Bell. What? I thought they cracked that.
Let freedom ring. That's what that sounds like.
Freedom sounds horrible.
Freedom sounds horrible. They don't have any Liberty Bells in Russia, you know.
Yeah. So it didn't get the name you were saying. I missed this, but it wasn't originally called the Liberty Bell. It's just from that anti-slavery pamphlet that called it that, and then the name.
Yeah,
spread.
I mean, it wasn't just one pamphlet, but yeah, that's how it
Mhm.
got its name and how the
Mhm.
name spread. During World War II, city officials considered moving the bell to Fort Knox. However, since the bell returned to Philadelphia in 1915, it has been moved outdoors only 5 times. 3 times for patriotic observances during and after the war, and twice as the bell occupied new homes in 1976 and 2003.
So 2003 is when they made the thing it's in now.
Yeah, the Liberty Mall Pavilion thing that's
Yeah.
connected across Market Street and all. Yeah,
And you can't touch it.
No,
anymore.
do not touch.
yeah.
They don't let you do
They
that.
frown upon it now.
It's frowned upon.
But one of the interesting stories I read, or one of the asides that I read while looking this stuff up, was that Chicago really wanted the bell to come back for their exhibition in the 1930s. And Philadelphia was like, no. So New York was like, well, we really want it for the 1939 World's Fair. and we got 3 million school children to sign a petition asking you to please bring it up here. And Philadelphia was like, nah. The Park Service took custody of the bell in 1976 and moved it to a structure on 6th and Market where it could be easier to accommodate visitors, and there it remained for decades. So previously it was inside.
So like the bicentennial, they were like, let's spruce it up.
Yeah, let's get it out here. It was inside Independence Hall. You couldn't see it from the street. You'd have to go inside. They kept it in a wooden box with a glass front because they didn't trust nobody anymore because the last night security guard watchman was chipping pieces off
Taking
of it.
pieces.
They should bring the bell back. They should put it out again.
Yeah, bring it down to FDR Park. Let it skate.
One night only.
Let's skate.
The bell lived in this this open to the public space from 1976 to the early 2000s. That is until a self-described wanderer from Nebraska.
Finally, the whole episode's about this.
It's all about
leading
this.
to this. Okay.
It's all about the day that will live in infamy. The day a self-described wanderer from Nebraska journeyed to the cradle of liberty to express his overwhelming love for freedom.
I'm glad it wasn't somebody from Philly that did it. It's Nebraska people. It's like anytime something, like when somebody throws up on a little girl at the Phillies game and they're like, oh, that guy's from Jersey. He's not from Jersey. They're from Nebraska.
He's high on corn.
He wandered all the way here.
It does say that. It seems like he hitchhiked all the way here from Nebraska.
Oh, that's weird.
Just him and a hammer.
He slept.
That
on
was
it.
the thing. It was like it's a hammer. That's why it really stuck out.
Mitchell Goulat arrived at the Liberty Bell Pavilion around 9:30 a.m. on April 6th, the day before his 27th birthday. Sporting stringy dreadlocks and a T-shirt picturing a crucified Jesus, he joined a small tour group.
So it was like a midlife crisis.
A 27-year-old midlife crisis.
Yeah.
Maybe a quarter-life crisis.
Quarter-life crisis.
Suddenly, Mitchell shouted, "God lives," although some sources report the quote as, "Free the spirit inside the bell with God."
Wow.
So there's conflicting reports when I looked it up. Then he struck the bell 4 or 5 times with a hand sledge, a tool with a heavy metal head of a sledgehammer on a short handle.
Like Thor's hammer.
Quite like Thor's hammer,
Thor's
yeah.
hammer.
Quite like.
Quite like. That must have been freaky to be there for that, you know.
Yeah, and they're just like, this isn't supposed to happen, right? And people were
Can I do this too?
tourists were like taking pictures of it.
Yeah.
It seems like he joined, so there was no official tour. Like, the city didn't offer tours of it, so whoever the tour group was there, they were there of their own, private.
Like the people who dress like colonial people, and they're like, I'll tell you this, and here's this. And
Yeah. Those people were there on their own. They're, like, not necessarily paid by the city to be there.
And he's just like, I'm just a volunteer. I'm not getting involved in this.
They don't pay me enough to do this. Park rangers standing guard heard the sound of metal clanking against metal and tackled Mitchell.
That sounds like a Liberty Bell being run.
I've been training. I've been waiting.
Yeah.
This is just like the simulation.
Take the shot.
Maneuver Omega 4. Yeah, these guys were training their whole life, and somehow they missed it. They heard
What happens.
the awful sound of the Liberty Bell clanging.
Like the Secret Service who let Kennedy get killed.
Yes, they'll never live it down.
They'll never live it down.
Mitchell didn't resist and was taken into custody. As he was being led away, he said, quote, "I didn't do anything violent," end quote.
It was a patsy. I was a patsy.
I just hit a bell.
I didn't do anything violent. Is whacking a bell with a hammer intrinsically violent? I don't know.
They're made to be rung. I was made for loving you, baby. Ring that bell.
This bell was made to be rung.
Yeah, I don't know if I would say it's violent. So, but it's still a crime. It's not like, oh, well, I guess we got to release him. He's got us there.
You, I guess, in this case, you arrest first. You tackle first. You worry about the
kick him a few times.
Like the simulation.
Worry about the civil liberties afterwards. Okay. Mitchell was brought before a federal magistrate, charged with causing damage to an archaeological resource.
Wow.
Wow.
Yeah.
Serious business.
Do you think that it's like they had to make up a, like they already had this precedent?
Like, has it
of,
ever been a
like,
crime
yeah.
before? Yeah.
I imagine somebody tried to damage some dinosaur bones,
Yeah,
and they wrote the law to punish that guy.
Yeah, we got to make a law for this now.
And this is the thing that the law that was most closely broken. You know, it's like not directly, but technically,
Yeah, it is
the Liberty
technically
Bell is an artifact.
Yeah.
During a 5-minute hearing.
5
5
minutes.
minutes.
Did you do it? Yeah.
Oh yeah.
Oh yeah.
During the 5-minute hearing, he wished peace and love to everyone in district court, and then added, quote, "We are all one body in Christ, and God is the judge over all of us," end quote.
Take that, judge.
And the judge was like, you know what? Let him go.
He does make a good point.
He was just trying to free God who was stuck inside the Liberty Bell. So, I mean, it could have happened to any of us.
Anyone with a heart.
Yeah. He cared too much. That's really his crime.
This is pre 9/11. There's no Patriot Act.
That's true. If this happened after 9/11, they probably would have shot this guy.
On the
serious.
spot. On the
Seriously.
spot. In a way, he kicked off this golden age period of terrorism. He was the early adopter.
I guess so.
Mm-hmm.
He was the Velvet Underground of 2001 terrorists. Is that what you're saying?
That's what
That's
you're
what
saying.
you're saying.
That's what you're saying.
That's what you're saying.
I'm not a Lou Reed fan at all. So you can duke it out.
Mitchell said he did not want a lawyer to represent him,
Right on.
I got this.
and he remained in federal custody until he was declared incompetent to stand trial.
I mean,
That's a good way to defend yourself.
he was competent enough to hitchhike from Nebraska to Philadelphia. I couldn't do that. So I mean, like, he was pretty competent in that sense. Like, he knew what he was doing.
He could take care of himself.
Yeah.
Mitchell argued that he was competent and hammered on the historic symbol of freedom,
Hammered.
quote, for religious
Hammer time.
reasons, end quote.
For religious reasons.
For religious reasons. Court-appointed attorney Mara Meehan interrupted her client several times, urging him to stop speaking.
Shut up. I like this was only 5 minutes, and she still multiple times was like, stop talking.
Please stop.
Stop.
When Mara went to work that day, she was not expecting to have to deal with this.
She was like, what's on the docket today? Oh, this guy. This should be quick.
This should be.
Mitchell's grandmother, Bertha, reported that her grandson was a member of the Methodist Church. Mitchell's grandmother did worry that her grandson may have been a fanatic because he did not have a permanent address or a phone number, but always insisted God would take care of him.
That's why.
It's not like, and it's so far.
God
Like,
will
people
take
didn't
care
have
of it.
cell phones back then,
It's
so
not
it's
that-
not like. I think it's that crazy.
Not that hard to lose track of somebody in
Right.
2000.
Right.
Mitchell was sentenced to 9 months in prison, given 5 years probation, and ordered to pay $7,093 in the cost of repairing gouges made to the famous bell.
So how big were, like, the gouges?
They were more superficial than anything else, and were able, for the most part, able to be buffed out.
There's a
Yeah.
little bit of spit.
Little mother's love.
9 months seems not like a lot.
No, and they let him serve his time in Boise, Idaho, near the home of his mother.
I mean, that's like being in a country club.
It's like one of these French jails.
Yeah, Boise, Idaho. Whoa, big shot. Wish I could go there.
They probably fed him 3 times a day and gave him a bed.
Got all the potatoes he wants. Yeah, if this was after 9/11, he would have got, like, years and years.
They would have sent him to Gitmo. He would have been a Camp X-ray the rest of his life.
Ugh, yeah. Wow, he actually lucked out. Well, he did say Jesus was, God will take care of it.
I
so.
guess he
He
did
was right.
terrorism for the right God,
He was
so
right.
he gets a pass. Mitchell apologized to the court, quote, "It was not my intention to damage the bell. It was strictly to ring the bell," end quote.
Like that
How's
disco
he supposed
song.
to ring it?
Like that disco song. Who is that, Donna Summer?
Anita Ward.
Need a war.
Anita Ward. Anita Ward's the real criminal here.
Wow. That, I mean, he rang it, so he did, he did accomplish what he set out to.
There's scripture written on the bell. I mean, and from his perspective, the bell was calling to him. He journeyed from Nebraska.
It's like the White Album with Charles Manson.
Yeah, yes, he thought it was for him. He thought it was purely for him.
Man.
Regardless of Mitchell's regret, the National Park Service was forced to re-examine its policy of access to the Liberty Bell.
He ruined it for everyone.
This is why we can't have nice things.
No, we can have nice things.
2 years later, the National Treasure was moved to its current home at the Liberty Bell Center. A more stringent security station was installed at the front of the pavilion.
Yeah, they don't let you come in there with hammers anymore.
No, I'm pretty sure you have to go through a metal detector and all now, and you have
If you had like a plastic hammer, they wouldn't know.
rubber mallets.
Rubber mallets.
They have no defense against that. In a 2013 interview with Hidden City, Mitchell explained that he was inspired by the scripture on the shoulder of the bell. Quote, "Proclaim liberty throughout all land unto the inhabitants thereof." End quote.
It was asking for it.
Pretty much saying, hey, ring me. Give me a ring.
Mitchell says the scripture on the bell was an inspiration to me. Liberty is something God gives and men receive. The dull thud of that 2,000-pound bell, tuned to the key of E flat, sounded that day. Liberty was the tune that it played, and God Lives was the song that I sang. End quote.
Wow, he's still like doubling down. He's like, no, I was right.
I also like that God sings in E flat. Yeah.
God has perfect pitch.
You think it's a C? Nope. E flat, baby. That is also funny that the Liberty Bell is an E flat.
Yeah, I wouldn't have known that. That's Mitchell saying that. I'm
Thank
not sure
you.
that it's
See,
true.
now we know.
Yeah, now we know.
How else would
Thanks,
we know?
Mitchell. Thank you, Mitchell.
Wherever you are.
Wherever you are.
I was not able to find any updates on Mitchell or
You
what.
find his Instagram,
He has no Instagram, no
Bell
Facebook,
Ringer,
no LinkedIn.
at Bell Ringer.
He sells like T-shirts of it. Oh, speaking of T-shirts, this is on.
We're a T-shirt company.
But this is on the this is on the Patreon, right?
This Bell
The
T-shirt is
vintage South Fellini T-shirt.
coming back, baby. Subscribe to our YouTube. Follow us on Instagram so you can see what it looks like if you're just listening to the podcast.
Yeah.
But yeah, for Patreon users, the Liberty Bell and Lightning Bolt on Red Ringer is coming back.
It's coming back. Secret menu.
Wow.
Good shirts.
Rare shirts.
Not these.
Not the crap.
Not the crap we sell in the store.
Go ahead, say it. You wanted to say it.
Not the crap we saw at 1507 East Passyunk Avenue. Or get your crap 24 hours a day at southfellini.com. Man, this is I hope he's doing well.
Yeah, the last thing I could find was Hidden City tracked him down in 2013.
That's wild they were able to find him.
Yeah, if you're out there, Mitchell, please reach out, leave us a comment.
Give us a ring.
Give us a ring. Did I miss that? Good one, Trove.
Thank you.
Yeah, we'll interview you. Well, you can say whatever crazy stuff you want to. We'll put it on the internet.
Yeah.
We make things up all the time.
Yeah.
Okay, that's pretty much all there is to know about the Liberty Bell terror attack.
Wait, right before we end this, the only other Liberty Bell thing I think we talked about, didn't we do an April Fool's episode? Because Taco Bell said that they bought the Liberty Bell.
No, we've never
in the
done an
90s.
episode on it, but we talk about it all the time.
And people were pissed. People were so mad about it. They put out a magazine ad on April 1st or something. And they were like, "We're buying the Liberty Bell." And
Honestly, I'm so sick of corporate April Fool's jokes.
well, this was like in the 90s or
This is
something.
the first
so
one I
people
even
were
remember.
Really?
People were
Yeah.
like, "What?" Yeah, now everybody knows. It's like, all right, everybody knows this is coming now. But I think Taco Bell should buy it.
Okay, that's pretty much all there is to know about the Liberty Bell terror attack. Please check out our website, www.southfellini.com. That's SOUTHFELLINI.com for cool Philly-inspired merch. Visit us at 1507 East Passyunk Avenue in beautiful South Philly. Check us out on Instagram, YouTube,
Spotify,
and Patreon. We're at South Fellini everywhere. Follow along and join in the conversation. We want to hear from you. Look out for new episodes of the podcast on Mondays. Stay safe, wash your hands, and you can ring my bell.
I need a award. Hit us up. That's right.